Hey everyone, hope you're having a great week. Today we're going to talk about tea tree. Bear with me, I'm losing my voice for some reason. I think it's because I've been doing a lot of talking, but we're going to talk about tea tree. This is actually an oil that is probably the first oil that I knew about before any other oils. It's the first one that I thought of when I thought of essential oils. And even before I knew what essential oils were, I had heard of tea tree. I knew what it was. I had used it in different shampoos and soaps before, and I've had different experiences with it. So I knew what tea tree was, and I was not different than a lot of people. So many people know about this oil. They know about tea tree, they've heard about it, they've used it, they know the smell, they know a lot about it, or at least they think they know a lot about it. So this is a very popular oil. This is a great oil to understand because it really helps build your business. It helps understand this product, and it helps you be able to relate with people about this product. So this is definitely a product you want to understand and you want to use. Like always, we're going to talk a bit about the history of the product, what tea tree is, what it's known for, some creative ways to use it, and we're going to talk about those few things. Remember, please comment below. Share your comments of how you use tea tree, what you like about it, what you don't like about it, how you've used it, and your experiences. Like always, remember to keep them compliant. And remember that these videos are really for you and your educational purposes. So don't share them, just enjoy them, learn from them, and share with us your experiences. So let's go ahead and get started. And the first thing that we're going to talk about is really, what is tea tree? Well, tea tree is the most popular essential oil out there. It's very well known, like I said, and it's commonly used. You can go into all different types of stores, and almost always you're going to find tea tree in some form or included in some product. Okay. It is also the most extensively researched essential oil. There have been thousands of different studies done on tea tree, how to use it, what it's for. It is also one of the most scientifically backed oils. This means that scientists have spent thousands and millions of dollars learning about tea tree, what it's used for, testing it out for different reasons, purposes, and so on and so forth. So tea tree has a lot of science behind it and what it's good for. So I definitely recommend going online, learning more about this oil. There's a lot you can research online and see really what tea tree is, what it can be used for, and how it can benefit you in your life. It's definitely a great product to understand. Okay. It is found along the swamps and marshy areas in Australia. Okay. So it's a plant. It hangs out in the areas of swamps and marshy areas. But again, it's in abundance. There's so much of it, and there's so many people that know about it. Okay. And it can also be super strong and extremely powerful. So this is an oil that a lot of times people need to dilute. They need to not use it full strength or apply it directly to their skin because it is super strong. So definitely understand this oil when you're talking to people about it. Understand what tea tree does, how it can help, and then really understand what to teach people about. Okay. Excuse me. So the history of tea tree. Okay, tea tree was used in Australia for over 100 years, so it's a huge thing in Australia. People have known about it, they've used it, it's very common there. It's said to have been discovered by British sailors close to Sydney in the early 1700s. So apparently they were sailing in somehow close to the Sydney area. They came across it there in the marshy areas of the harbor, and this is how tea tree came about. It is a big part of ancient Australian magic. So basically, different native tribes use this as different spiritual medications. So it was used for spiritual medications. They used it to help prepare the beds for like the dead in their communities. They used it for all kinds of different things. So there is a ton of history used with tea tree. There's a ton of history of these native tribes using tea tree for so many different purposes. I have researched and learned about tons of different oils, and still to this day, I've never found an oil that has as much information and as much of a history as tea tree. I mean, it goes back for hundreds of years, and there's so many different studies and ways that it was used. One of my favorite is, so these native tribes, they would actually take tea tree and they would take the leaves of the tea tree, the Melaleuca plant, and they would actually rip it into shreds, and then they would make a pillow, kind of like they were weaving a basket. And so then people would actually lay on that pillow. So if they were sick, had issues, whatever it may be, they would lay on that pillow of the tea tree leaves, and apparently that was said to have helped them recover. So there's really a lot that we can learn from this great plant by studying the history of these ancient tribes in Australia, what they used it for, what they did, how they used it, and so on. And it was also used as a body scrub and ointment to heal war wounds. So in times of war, they would, again, rip the tea tree or the Melaleuca leaves, and they would soak them in water. They would then use that water to rinse off the soldiers. So if the soldiers were scratched, wounded, whatever it may be, this was what they used to help with their healing process and their whole recovery system. So it's really cool to see how it has been used in history. It's just a great way for us to understand it a bit more. Definitely do some more research on it, okay? So some creative ways to use tea tree. Now, this is an interesting oil, and there are a ton of different uses. The first thing that I'm going to tell you is, and it's the very last bullet point here, is Google this oil. Take time and Google tea tree or Melaleuca and really learn about this oil. Learn what it can do, see how it can help you, learn the health benefits, figure the ins and outs of it, so on and so forth. There's so much that we can learn about this oil that I can't really go into detail about, but check it out. Learn about it and let me know if you have questions. This oil is absolutely amazing. Some of the common ways that I've seen tea tree be used is as makeup removal. So they'll make a mixture with tea tree and other things, and they'll use that to remove makeup. It's also great for hair support. So to help your hair look shinier, more full, so on and so forth, this helps with that. And it also gives a healthy glow to your skin and helps support your skin, right, to be healthier. And so it really is a great oil. Like I said, take some time and research this oil on your own. There are so many uses, and truthfully, it probably has more uses than most other oils. Research this, look into it, get to know this oil because there's so much you can do with it. This has become one of my favorite oils. It's one that I use almost daily. I use it to clean my counters. I use it to clean my sink. I've even used it, mixed it with lemon oil to unclog drains. I've used it on my skin. I've used it in so many different ways. Get to know this oil. If you have any questions, please add me on Facebook. Like always, I'm excited to answer your questions. I'm excited to work with you, and I'm excited to see your creative ways of using this great product. Have a great week, and we'll talk soon.